We have potentially the game of the year happening Sunday night. The Los Angeles Chargers are heading to Kansas City to play the Chiefs. This is your Week 14 predictions and preview. First off, for the home team, the Kansas City Chiefs. This is a team that has had its ups and downs this year, to say the least. More ups than anything, considering this team is 11-1. The Chiefs are coming off of back-to-back wins. 2 weeks ago, they traveled to Carolina, barely won that game, 30-27. They got it done in the end. Black Friday versus the Raiders should have been a loss. It wasn't a guaranteed because the Raiders kicker continuously was missing field goals in that game, and it was no guarantee that he was going to make it. But it was on a botched snap and on a potentially botched call that costed them a shot to win the game. That's what I'll say. All in all, it got them to 11 wins. But one of their tougher games of the schedule is happening this Sunday night. Justin Herbert and the Chargers are coming to town. Justin Herbert in his career is 2-2 in Arrowhead Stadium. That's more than a lot of quarterbacks can say. Most quarterbacks have no wins in Arrowhead. So if he can pull this off and get above 500 in Arrowhead, that would be extremely impressive. It seems like every year around this time, people start writing the Chiefs off. After that Christmas game last year where they lost to the Las Vegas Raiders, it looked like the Chiefs' season was over. They went on to win the rest of the games that year and went on to go win the Super Bowl. So I'm not going to sit here and write this team off, but this year just seems a little bit different. The biggest problem the Chiefs have had this year is their tackle positions. Their left tackle and their right tackle. Their left tackle, Wanya Morris, he's horrible. He allows way too many pressures every single game. It was early in the year versus the Falcons. He had a very solid game that game, and it seemed like they had their left tackle of the future. But as the season has went on, he's been horrible, and he is causing Patrick Mahomes to have to scramble around, take unnecessary sacks, and it's just causing a recipe for disaster. And on the other side, they have the false start king, Jawan Taylor, the most overpaid player in football. They're paying that man a lot of money to go out there and not produce. Number 74 on the right side. Keep an eye out on him in this game. He is going to mightily struggle to Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa. He has had a very tough season. There's a lot of holding calls that do not get called on him. I'm not going to sit here and get into all that, but he has struggled mightily this year for what he's getting paid. I'm not worried about their interior offensive linemen. They're phenomenal. They're all pro. They are the three best combination guard, center, and other guard in the NFL. They've been having to pick up the slack of the tackles, and it's causing a lot more pressure on those young players. Help may be on the way at the tackle position for the Chiefs. They signed DJ Humphries. My biggest thing with him is he's coming off of a torn ACL that he suffered last December. So it's been almost a year since he actually last played football. And if he's going to be good to go Sunday night, he's going to have a tough matchup with Khalil Mack and with Joey Bosa. And they like to rotate those guys around too. So he's going to go out there and give them some tough looks. He may struggle, but he's going to be an upgrade from what they currently got. The Chiefs, if they want to have a big advantage in this game, need to go out and dominate the run game, establish the line of scrimmage. Do not get pass happy with the Los Angeles Chargers. The Los Angeles Chargers have one of the best passing defenses in the NFL. They're towards the middle of the pack with the rushing defense. A couple weeks ago, Derrick Henry and the Baltimore Ravens ran all over them. If they want to go out and win, they need to go out, get the run game going. You got Isaiah Pacheco back. Get him going, help set up the play action, take your deep shots down the field. This is going to be a very fascinating matchup, in my opinion. The Chiefs have the best third down offense in the NFL, and the Chargers have the best third down defense in the NFL. So watching these two units go at it is going to be very exciting. Another fact to keep in mind for the Kansas City Chiefs, they are on their third kicker of the season. Their previous two are on IR. So Matthew Wright, their current kicker right now, the one that will be playing this weekend, is going to be their kicker the remainder of the season. So it'll be interesting to see if there's any big field goals that he's going to need to come in and make. X factors for the Chiefs in this game on offense, the running backs, Kareem Hunt, Isaiah Pacheco, and a sprinkle of Samaje Perine. If you get behind like you did in the week 4 versus the Los Angeles Chargers, like when they trailed 10-0, stick with the run game. Stick with it. Do not abandon it like you did versus the Raiders. Kareem Hunt has been a very solid back for the Kansas City Chiefs this year. He's gotten it done. He did not get it done versus the Las Vegas Raiders. They abandoned the run game. Isaiah Pacheco, I believe, was on a snap count. He had just under 50 yards, but they need to find a balanced attack to get both of those guys going. The biggest thing for Patrick Mahomes in this matchup, do not force the football. Right now, he's sitting at 11 interceptions. That's among the top. He's not the top. That's among the top quarterbacks in interceptions. He's done good the last month, not making dumb decisions. He started off the year really rough. One of those rough decisions came against the Chargers when he overthrew Rashee Rice. It got picked off by Chargers defensive back Christian Fulton. He took it back the other way. Patrick Mahomes was diving to make a tackle, and he ended up diving on his receiver's knee, and he blew his ACL out. Ever since then, he's kind of calmed down, but in this matchup, he cannot go back to those mistakes because the Chargers do have the number one scoring defense in the NFL. Sometimes the best play is just to throw it away or take the sack, live to tell another down. One last name for the Chiefs that may be brought up, Charles Omenihu on the defensive line. I'm expecting the Chargers to go out there and double team Chris Jones. The Chargers tackles are going to be fine. They're going to handle their assignments. But that interior of the Chargers offensive line has really struggled. Charles Omenihu, he's a phenomenal player. He tore his ACL last year against the Buffalo Bills in the playoffs. He's just now getting back into the swing of things. He hasn't really played much this season. I'm expecting a full snap count out of him, and I'm expecting the Chargers to go out double teaming Chris Jones. He's going to have a lot of one-on-one opportunities with Zion Johnson, and Zion Johnson has mightily struggled for the Chargers. So that's just another name to keep your eye out for Sunday night. Now, for the away team, the Los Angeles Chargers, it has been very much so an up and down season for the Los Angeles Chargers this year too. Considering this team was just 5-12 last year, they have the best turnaround in the NFL right now in terms of record last year and record this year, and that's phenomenal with almost the same roster. The Chargers were riding really high a few weeks ago. They were on a very long winning streak. They seemed to be trending towards the top of the NFL until the second quarter versus the Baltimore Ravens. J.K. Dobbins left that game. They diagnosed it as a sprained right knee. I think he's going to be okay. They're going to be really cautious with him considering his injury past and especially considering what just happened to Christian McCaffrey. I think at this point they would just rather have him ready for the playoffs. So they're probably going to be without him the rest of the regular season. Again, I don't know that. That's just my guess. But they need to get their ground game going. Got to get Gus Edwards going. Got to get sixth-round rookie Kamani Vidal going. Justin Herbert was having so much success versus all these teams because they had J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards as a solid 1-2 punch. Get out there. Get the run game going. It'll help set up your play action. You'll be able to do your bootlegs. You hit Ladd McConkey on the side. You'll be able to take your deep shots with Quentin Johnston. Ever since they lost J.K. Dobbins, they've really struggled on offense, and they've asked their defense to take a much bigger role part of this team. Their defense has been absolutely phenomenal. Coach Jesse, he came along with Jim Harbaugh from Michigan. He's a phenomenal defensive coordinator. You can make a case he's the best defensive coordinator in football. He's very similar to a Mike McDonald. He's off the Harbaugh coaching tree. They have the same schemes. He's going to be a head coach, if not next year, in 2 years. There's going to be a team that wants a defensive-minded head coach, and he's going to be at the top of the list, considering he took the Chargers from the worst defense by far with Brandon Staley because he was a horrible coach with those same exact players and turned it into one of the best defenses. It's just unprecedented. But the biggest thing for the Chargers is you cannot rely heavily on your defense like you did versus the Falcons. They had 187 yards versus the Atlanta Falcons. Their defense came out. They had 4 interceptions. They recovered a fumble. They forced 5 turnovers, and the Falcons still were driving down to win the game at the end of the game. They got to do better on offense, and it gets back, get the ground game going. They only ran the ball 11 times versus the Atlanta Falcons. Justin Herbert, he has really quiet passing games sometimes. But in this matchup versus the Chiefs, you do not want to get pass happy. Just like I was saying, the Chiefs don't want to get pass happy. The Chargers don't need to get pass happy. Early in the game, get it to Gus Edwards. Try to get Kamani Vidal on some outside zone runs. Try to get outside the tackles because Chiefs inside the tackles with Chris Jones, he's phenomenal. Don't go out there and get in these third and long situations. Get into third and short, hit Ladd McConkey, hit Quentin Johnston, get these guys going early. And speaking of Quentin Johnston, get him the ball early. I don't care if it's on little screen plays, little hitch plays, little jet sweeps. He's going through a serious confidence issue right now, and it's the same exact confidence issue he had last year when he came out and admitted it. He needs to get it together because the Chargers are very much relying on him, and most of his NFL career is going to lie on the rest of this season. He has 6 touchdowns. They all came early in the season. He has got to get it back together. He lost all of his confidence versus the Baltimore Ravens when he came out, had 4 drops, was running the wrong routes, and he was pretty much getting booed off the field on national TV. He has to get it back together. It's going to be okay. I know it's tough, but he has to get it back together because he is still the Chargers' number 2 receiver, and they don't have many other players right now. So they're really relying on him. So get out there, get the ball in his hands early. Who cares if it only goes for a yard or 2? Get the ball in his hands, start getting that confidence back up. The Chargers are completely opposite than the Chiefs on the offensive line. The Chargers have all-pro left and right tackles. They're both phenomenal. I don't even need to talk about them because they're not going to be an issue in this game. What's going to be an issue is the Chargers' interior of the offensive line. They have one of the worst center guard combinations in the league. I know a lot of Charger fans love the Chargers center right now, Bradley Bozeman. He's a team captain. He's a veteran. A lot of people like him because at that Saints game weeks back, one of the Saints players, Will Shepard, I believe his name is, he gator rolled Justin Herbert's leg way after the play, and then Bradley Bozeman came in and knocked him down, and it was a big altercation. A lot of Charger fans love that he stood up for Justin Herbert like that, but the best way he can actually stand up for Justin Herbert is to go out there and hold his block longer than 1 second, because he's been horrible this season. Again, it just goes with the lack of depth the Chargers have in this rebuild. He's going to be a massive player in this game, and they really need him to step up. Justin Herbert has been sacked an exact number of 30 times this year. Most of that are coverage sacks just because the depth at the receiver is not there. They got to get the receiver, get him on quick passes, get the run game going, set up the play action. Right now, the Chargers have everything going against them. J.K. Dobbins is out. Quentin Johnston is going through a serious confidence issue. With all of that, my prediction for this game, the Chargers have given the Chiefs fits for very long times now, and they've lost heartbreak after heartbreak. I have the Los Angeles Chargers winning this game 21-19. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think and how you guys think this game is going to go. Peace.